Appliance Seafair Cup. The start of Heat 3A is just a few minutes away.
2017 Albert Lee Cup at Seafair, Heat 3A. The 11, DeJulio, J&D's Tom Thompson. The 21, Albert Lee, Brian Perkins. The 1, Home Street Bank, Miss Madison, Jimmy Shane. 99.9, Car Star, Miss Rock, Greg Hop.
All 4 of them are on the water and running, and I want to use this to kind of explain to our fans who may be new to this what is going on out here right now on the water. We said 5 minutes. We're now down to 3:30. This is the milling period.
It is, and Brian Perkins is our first miller. He went from the front stretch to the back stretch. This is a starting procedure for them. The idea is to get to the start line at full speed when the big digital countdown clock gets to 0. You've heard the countdowns for them. Their communicators are communicating what time, and they also have a stopwatch in the cockpit. In fact, I think a couple of them have 2 stopwatches just to make sure. Jimmy Shane through the south turn. Tom Thompson in the Miss DeJulio presents J&D's halfway up the backstretch. Greg Hop coming down across the start-finish line of the main straightaway, followed by Brian Perkins. Brian is in lane 1. He did a cut through on the south end of the race course. We'll see if he does that again. The idea is to get lane number 1.
Coming up on 2 minutes and 35 seconds. 2:35 until our start. The other piece to that start procedure is Tom Thompson cuts the lower end of the course here. That's that bright green boat with the red on the nose of the sponsons. The predominantly blue boat belongs to the U1, Miss Home Street.
And let's take a look as Jimmy Shane cuts through the course too. Now he's got a full buoy there. He's in lane 1. He was trying to get inside of Brian Perkins, was coming around the south turn, and he wanted to get inside. Just about 2 minutes to go now, 2:07.
And the key here is you cannot go below 80 miles an hour. If you do, you will incur the wrath of the officials. You have to keep your boat above 80 miles an hour. Now, obviously, you can't tell on the beach, and neither can I, how fast they're going, but you see Greg Hop coming down the front straightaway here.
He cut through the infield from the backstretch, and he is now in lane number 1, Brad.
Yeah, and typically the rule of thumb is here, and is to try and keep the rooster tail up as high as that horizontal stabilizer. I personally don't like where he is right now because he is at the entrance pin of the corner at a 1 minute and 30 seconds, and I'm not sure he can run at 80 miles an hour and stay behind the start-finish line. We'll keep an eye on Greg Hop. Now, here comes Tom Thompson. He will come down here in the U11. He's going to be followed by Jimmy Shane, and then coming up behind all 4 boats is going to be the 21 with Brian Perkins. A minute 10 mark, and I'm not sure I like where Greg Hop is.
Well, he's got to maintain that 80 miles an hour or he gets a penalty. He's halfway up the backstretch right now.
And he just got told by the officials to turn it up, and you saw him realize he was not going to make it, and so he had to cut the race course. Now, watch Greg. He's going to come on the front straightaway. He's going to go a buoy and a half, and he's going to hang it hard on a hook to the left again and cut the course. He couldn't do it, Mark. He had to come across.
Yep, well, that's going to cost him lane 1. He's probably now going to be out in lane 4 as the rest of the fleet. Tom Thompson is early too, 38 seconds, and he is just about at the entrance buoy to that north turn. 33 seconds to go. Jimmy Shane and Brian Perkins, they're in pretty good shape at 27 seconds to go. They're going to have to hang back just a little bit. But Tom Thompson now coming off of that turn, Brad.
Yeah, he's going to be really early. He's going to have whatever lane he would like, but he's going to be on an inside lane. We're still at 15 seconds, and he's going to, remember, he's got to maintain 80 miles an hour. If he drops below, they'll give him a penalty. If he jumps across the start-finish line too early, he's going to have a 1 minute penalty. Here comes the field behind him. 2 seconds, 1 mark, and we are racing in Heat 3A, presented by Home Street Bank. And you see the difference of having boat speed and not having boat speed. As Jimmy Shane gets down here quickly, he is in lane number 2. He was the first one down to the corner, Mark, and he's got a lead coming off.
He certainly does. He's got about a 5-boat length lead over Tom Thompson in the DeJulio's presents J&D's Jimmy Shane up the backstretch, but he's got 3 other boats chasing him and chasing him hard. Tom Thompson, you can see that yellow and red boat, but you got 2 other boats, and Brian Perkins is right in the mix, as well as Greg Hop in the Car Star powered Miss Rock. They come off of that turn, and it is still Jimmy Shane tight to the buoy line. Coming to you, Brad Luce.
Here comes Jimmy Shane. He's going to come down and put one in the books. 3 laps we're going to go, so he's got 2 more to go. But there is some good racing coming up behind him. Tom Thompson is on the inside. He hit a hole in the north end, and the boat leaped out of the water. He almost lost it, but he brought it back down. But look at Brian Perkins. Perkins is trying to move up on him. Your race is for second, but notice that Perkins is running on the outside of the home street, while Tom Thompson is on the inside of that. He's saving ground, running a smaller course, Mark.
And he's legging it out as Brian Perkins cannot catch up with him, as he had a long way to go around the south turn. Now accelerating up the backstretch. We don't want to forget about Jimmy Shane, who's almost already to the north turn. Then Tom Thompson, a rooster tail back, is Brian Perkins out in lane number 3. And then it's back to Greg Hopp in the Carstar powered Miss Rock. Here they come around the north turn on lap number 2. White flag is up, and they're coming down the straightaway. It is all Mr. Shane right now.
It is all Home Street Blue, the U1 Miss Home Street, but the race still remains for second place. Home Street Bank, Jimmy Shane starts the final lap, flies the boat a little bit as he comes down the front straightaway. Now we see that Brian Perkins has definitely dropped back.
Tom Thompson way up in the air.
Yeah, Tom Thompson caught some air. He got into some slop on that inside lane, Mark.
Perkins is trying to catch up. He has moved to the inside now. He is on the inside of Tom Thompson, but he's still a couple of rooster tails behind. And inside of him is Greg Hopp. So the boats are now strung out. Jimmy Shane, Home Street Bank, halfway up the backstretch on his final lap. Then it's back to Tom Thompson, about 3 rooster tails. Another 3 to Brian Perkins in the Albert Lee Appliance, and a couple of rooster tails back to Greg Hopp.
Yeah, they've gotten pretty much spread out right now. Greg Hopp would love to think he could run down Brian Perkins, because we talked to the importance of those points. But right now there's 400 points on the line, and they're going to go to Jimmy Shane, driving the 1. Home Street Blue, the Miss Home Street. Jimmy Shane, your winner of our Heat 3A, presented by Home Street Bank. Second place will go to Tom Thompson, driving the U11. Miss DiGiulio presents J&D. Third place to Brian Perkins, driving the Albert Lee Appliance, the U21, and Greg Hopp flying the 99.9 across start-finish line. He will pick up 4th place points, driving the Carstar-powered Miss Rock. Heat 3A in the books.
Unofficial order of finish. You just heard it. Brad called him across the line. It was, let's see,